Welcome to Quail's Knitting Nest. My name is Joy.
And I'm Janet. Hi, everybody.
We're here on a bright, sunny December day. Got some of my Christmas decorations up, but no tree yet.
Oh, we decorated everything last week.
Okay.
We'll take some pictures later.
Yeah, okay. So this is episode 47, and we are up to 376 subscribers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
We've had a sudden surge.
We have.
I wonder if it was our little excursion.
No, it was before then.
It was before then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm wearing
I was just going to say, Joy, I think you need to start with your finished object here.
my Festive Yoke Pullover by Skeindeer Knits. All finished.
Lovely. God, you did that fast. Oh, jeez.
I added the little bit of
That looks good.
yeah, at the wrist and then and at the bottom.
Like
I
the
just
bird's eye
just
thing or
a
whatever
little
you call it.
touch. I didn't want it to be too
Really nice.
yeah. So it's done, and I wore it to work on Friday.
You did.
Because they already this year, instead of one Christmas sweater day, they're doing every Friday in the month of December.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, oh, well, I have my sweater. Put it on.
Very nice.
So now I get to wear it. I'm probably going to wear it all four Fridays at work.
Very nice. Now,
made
that's
it.
not an ugly Christmas sweater. That's a nice one.
So I'm very happy
nice.
with it. I used
Yes.
Biches, Bûches, Lambswool in worsted. Well, it's labeled DK weight, but for me it worked up worsted. 5 stitches to the inch. And I just adapted the pattern to fit my gauge. And I love it. I mean, I wore it all day at work, and it was... I mean, I'm still having hot flashes, so when I warmed up, I was a little warm, but other than that, it wasn't as toasty as I thought it would be. It's really light. Like when I pick it up, compared to some of my other sweaters, it doesn't weigh that much.
Mm-hmm. Very pretty.
So I'm really happy with it.
Wow. You have your reindeer, and then you have your snowflakes and your Christmas trees.
Yep.
That's really pretty.
Yep.
I like that. Very, very nice.
And what do you got on?
What am I wearing? Something from 2020. Caitlin Hunter's Misurina. It was a stash yarn that's now discontinued, and I can't even think of what it was. But it's a great yarn. It's part llama and wool. But
Llama, huh?
It's nice and soft.
It is.
If I lean up, yeah. So I had 2 colors with just enough quantity to make the sweater. So that's what determined what I was going to use.
So both the pink and the brownish are the same yarn. Okay.
Yeah. I love the cables and the little design.
Yeah.
My design's a little bit muted, but I think I like the pink.
Yeah, it's subtle.
Something different.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. And that's about it.
It looks like it's wearing well, whatever that yarn is.
I know. I meant to look.
That's okay.
I do have more of it in my stash now that I'm thinking about it in a different color. It was selling out at the yarn gallery, of course, because it was discontinued, and I bought it.
Yeah.
I love the color.
And you made short sleeve.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the pattern called for? Was it short or long?
It's short.
Oh, it is short. Okay.
It is short. Yeah. Actually, it's shorter than this. I think it comes to
Okay.
here, but I made mine longer. I just used whatever yarn I had. I really wanted it a little bit longer, but I ran out of yarn, so that was good enough. And I happen to have this T-shirt that's like
matches
almost
perfect. It does. It's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, it's comfortable. It's a comfortable sweater. I love
That's
it. It was
great.
fun to make. This really is a lot of fun with the cables and the color alternating. So that was fun. So that's about it.
I have 2 Afghan squares finished.
Oh, okay.
2 more squares. This is from Norah's Vintage Afghan, and I'm using Cascade Eco Wool. This is square number 5 here. And then this is square number 6.
And how many total are you doing? 12?
20.
Oh, 20. Oh,
20.
That's
So
right.
I'm 30% done
that's large.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to
Well,
be
that's great.
big. Yes. I want to
Very
go
nice.
all the way.
Are you're blocking them as you go?
Yes.
That's the
Blocking
way,
them as I go.
That's the way to
Yeah.
do it.
So they're coming, and this is not bad, not too itchy. I like this yarn, and I love this color, this nice chocolate brown. It's beautiful. You hear something funny?
Yeah. Well, the only finished object that I have is a pair of socks. I just
Nice.
love the color.
Yeah.
I just did a plain vanilla sock, stockinette stitch, because I wanted to show off this beautiful yarn. This is Miss Babs, and this is actually my 2022 Rhinebeck.
Oh,
right
yeah.
on top of it here. And it's called, the colorway is Harvest Plenty, and it's her Tarte base, which is really different. I don't know. It's actually 500 yards, 122 grams. So I have 64 grams of this left.
Oh, yeah, it's a big skein.
And it's 75% superwash wool, 15% nylon, and 10% tencel.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that. Because the other one I bought in this colorway has a little bit of cashmere.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do a neck, some kind of neck thing with
It
that
feels
one.
really nice.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a much thinner. Well, no, not really.
Do you
Anyway,
know how many?
I did on size 1, 64 stitches. My usual. Is that what you were going to ask?
I was going to ask how many stitches to the inch.
Oh, I don't know.
If
I
it
didn't
was-
do my gauge.
Yeah, I don't usually
Yeah.
either, but if it was thinner, it'd be kind of interesting to compare it with other socks.
Arne and Carlos.
Yay!
That was fun.
Yes.
That was fun. That was a fun couple of days.
We took a trip to Leonardtown, Maryland, the second week of November. Anyway, it was like the 17th. We drove down to Leonardtown on a Tuesday, checked into our hotel, had dinner, and then we went to this reception at the yarn shop. Crazy for You is the yarn shop that hosted the workshop with Arne and Carlos.
In a cute little town. Just a few blocks of a town, but all little old shops.
Very walkable.
We walked from our hotel everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
To the yarn shop.
You could
and
walk to
dinner.
to dinner, to the yarn shop, the port.
And
The water, because it's right on the water. It's right on the Chesapeake Bay.
yeah, very pretty.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty. Nice area. And so it was a champagne reception that we went to Tuesday
Yep.
at 5 o'clock, I guess. What was it, 5? Yeah,
Yeah,
5
5
o'clock.
o'clock.
And that was interesting, of course. We got to meet Arne and Carlos, had our pictures taken with them.
Yep.
Everybody else did too.
Yep.
Looked around the yarn shop, talked to people. There were quite a few, I don't know, maybe 50 people there.
Or
I would
more.
say.
Yeah.
A lot of her customers were there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Her regular people.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen is the owner's name. She was lovely.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And the people who work in the yarn shop, the women, were great. She
Yes.
must have, I think 5. Was it about 5 of them?
I have no idea.
But they were there every day,
Yep.
helping everybody.
Yep.
Very nice yarn shop.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful yarns.
And they had brought with them a whole trunk show from Rowan with their designs. So Ellen had them put on her mannequins,
Nice
and they were
displays.
very nicely displayed. And then you could pull one off and try it on if you
Right.
wanted to.
And all the patterns and books were there. The yarns, because they're a Rowan flagship store. That's why Arne and Carlos were there. And also Trisha Malcolm is traveling with them, and she's the North American Rowan representative. So she travels with Arne and Carlos and all the samples and yarns.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. We ended up talking to her one night about her job, which sounds fascinating to me.
Yeah.
She used to be the editor of Vogue Knitting Magazine, Trisha Malcolm. Very nice, very, very nice person.
Yep.
So after the reception, we went back to our hotel, the Leonardtown Inn, which was lovely, very nice. And they have a conference room, and Arne and Carlos did a nice presentation.
Yeah, they had a
Video,
slideshow.
yeah, really nice, and talked all about their designs and where they traveled recently, and it was fun. It was about an hour and a half. It was longer than I thought it was going to be, and they had more samples to show.
Yep. It was so neat to meet them in person.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were just like they are when you see
Yes.
them on the podcast.
Yep.
But you said you felt like Arne was a little bit more gregarious in
Oh,
person.
yeah. I think he was. He seems a little more shy on the podcast. Well, he used to be. Let me say he used to be.
Yeah, he
'cause I think
definitely used to
he's
be.
changed. But he's very outgoing and very nice people. That's for sure. And then the next day, of course, we get up early, 9 o'clock in the morning, and we have our first class with them at the yarn shop. Oh, that came out nice. And it It was Norwegian knitting and purling.
Yes.
And this is the hat. This was the pattern that we were working on.
It's called Reine,
I think.
Reine Hat. It calls for Norwegian wool, which is a DK weight, but I used Plymouth Galway, which is a worsted weight, so I did it a little bit heavier. And so they had us knitting and purling Norwegian style, and I did that for this entire hat.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did the entire hat.
So
that
did you
way.
get comfortable with it?
Yes. By the end, in the beginning,
It's very uncomfortable in the beginning.
It's so different. Not so much the knit stitch, but the purl stitch.
The purl.
Yeah. It takes a minute for you to, first of all, to wrap your mind around it, and then to make your mind tell your fingers how to do it. So probably the whole rib was like the hardest part of the hat, was the ribbing.
I think it was.
Just getting used to knitting and purling Norwegian style.
And they were very good. They came around and sat at the tables with you. There were at least, let me say, 40, at least, I think there were 40.
About 40.
Women in the class. And so there were, I guess, 6 tables, maybe. And so they would just keep making the rounds to help you. And you really needed that individual attention for that purl.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting twisted up. That was
You're
like
like, come here, Arne, show me.
So they would sit with you until you grasped it. So
yeah,
it was very good.
And then once everybody was more or less comfortable, then they would just come sit with you and just talk. And you could ask them like any question
about their holidays, about Norway, about anything.
So that was fun.
So that was the morning, 9 to 12. So the afternoon was one of their balls, their ornaments, skaters, right?
Yes,
skaters.
A skater. So I was also using worsted weight instead of DK because I was just using scraps out of my stash, and the ball came out pretty big. So I actually did finish it in the class.
You did?
So then I took it home and stuffed it, and I felted it, which Arne had talked about doing.
Right.
If you want to felt it. So, question for everybody down in the comments, let me know. Do you think I should go over this with some duplicate stitch to make the pattern stand out? Or is it fine the way it is?
I think it's fine the way it is. Yeah, we'll see what everybody says.
That's
but I
one
think it
thing.
looks good. I could tell what it is. I mean, I knew, but it does look like what it's supposed to be.
Arne said at one point that you could do like just a solid white ball and felt it, and then go back and do your motif like embroidered on top of it. So let me know down in the comments, should I go over it again with some duplicate stitch or embroidery, or is it fine the way it is?
I was using Norwegian wool with size 2 double point needles, and we were all struggling. Joy was the smart one who brought yarn, the heavier yarn, and it was much easier to work with because everybody was losing stitches. It was kind of hard to get started on those little needles with just 2 stitches on each needle.
Also, the Norwegian wool is 2-ply.
It's 2-ply and it splits too.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking
about.
having
a problem. I was having a problem with that, so I did not complete my ornament. But so the story with the yarn, you had the option of buying a yarn pack from the yarn shop from Crazy for You, and it had the exact yarn that you needed for all the classes.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So I ended up with 4 balls of Norwegian wool and 10 balls of felted tweed, Rowan felted tweed. So obviously it's all Rowan yarn. So I followed exactly what they said. But some of it didn't work out. That's all.
And I just stash rated.
She
brought all yarn from my
stash. I
stash.
should have done, probably. But now I have felted tweed, which I plan to use for a striped sweater. So
that'll be nice.
Anyway, so then that was that.
That was Wednesday. And then we got out at like 4, and it was sunset was like 4:30 or 4:45 or something. So we ran down to the harbor. Yeah, we drove down. Yeah, because I wanted to get the sunset, because the harbor is facing west, and the sun was setting over the inlet, I guess, that goes in from the bay. And it was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
Are you gonna
down
put some of
there.
those
Yeah,
pictures?
I'm gonna
Good.
put some video at
Good.
the end of the sunset. Yeah, it was
Okay,
really
it was
pretty.
very nice. Yeah. And then we went to a nice restaurant
Yes.
in an old house called the Front Porch, and it would have been lovely if it was warmer. And we could have. They actually had a couple of different areas where you could sit outside, the front porch, and then another
Back
patio
porch.
type place. So we sat in one of the older rooms.
Yeah.
And had a very nice dinner.
Yeah.
So that was.
And it was
lovely.
across the street from the chocolate shop.
Oh yes. So after dinner, guess where we went? But we bought gifts.
Yes, we bought chocolate gifts, and then for dessert, they also had gelato there.
Yes.
So we got some
We
gelato.
did have
for
gelato.
dessert.
That's
It was
right.
delicious. Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about that. So we did have dessert that one day. That's right. Then we went back to our hotel. We were sitting in the lobby. I was doing my homework for Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And Trisha Malcolm came off the elevator and came and sat with us and talked to us. So that was lovely.
Yeah.
And then came Arne and Carlos off the elevator.
They joined her,
because we were
yeah.
all staying in the same hotel. In fact, Arne and Carlos are right next door to us.
That's a good story. We should tell that. So we're checking in, right?
That was funny.
And the what do you call that person at the
Receptionist
check? Yeah,
or whatever.
receptionist.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, something about the rock stars. Did you ask? Are
I
they
asked,
staying
I said,
here?
is everybody staying? Do you know if any other people from the knitting group are staying? She said yes.
But then she was like, but I can't tell you what room they're in. That's top secret. You
We just
can't
thought
know
that was so funny. We're like, why would we want to know what room they're in? Really?
But then later we found out they were in the room right next to us.
And that happened to be funny. We came off the elevator and we were talking to the housekeeper. We needed something. And she said, well, what room are you in? And do you want your room service? No. We said, we don't need it. Just one after the first night. So then we turned to walk away and here's Arne and Carlos standing right there. And they started talking to her. And she said, well, do you need your room serviced? And they said, no. And she said, what room are you in? It was the room next to us.
Yeah.
So we kept bumping into them in the hallway.
Yeah. We
The
saw them one
elevator.
day at breakfast,
Yeah.
one day after. Yeah.
That was funny.
It was fun. They're nice guys. Really nice guys.
Extremely nice.
Yeah. So then Thursday morning, I did get Rowan felt, or whatever this is, Kid Silk Haze.
Kid Silk Haze.
This is the required yarn for the project. And then it was supposed to be paired with felted tweed.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought some for my stash instead. This is Distelfink Farm Fingering. And I brought these, and I was thinking that the dark purple and the light purple would be a good contrast.
Mm-hmm.
But
not for this method.
Not for
it would
this
have been if it was
particular-
just a normal.
It's not too bad, actually.
Yeah.
So this class was called Layered Color Work. And so it's instead of intarsia, where you have to pick up a different strand for each section, which you kind of do, it's one solid yarn the entire way, and then you just lay the second color over top of it, basically. So the layered color work.
Do you have the pattern with you?
No.
I could get mine.
I don't.
Let me get mine. Should we cut it here?
Take a break. So Janet got her yarn from the yarn pack, and this is obviously very contrasting. And you
That's as
haven't
far as I
started,
got
but
with
you
it.
didn't. Yeah,
But
you
I don't
can't
know
really.
if I'm going to continue. You really can't see. The idea is when you're doing these designs, like the Fair Isle designs, instead of dropping your main color, you hold it together with your contrast color. So it's a more muted design.
Yeah,
And
like this, you can barely see it, but for this, you carry the Kid Silk Haze around the entire hat, even though you're not using it all the time.
so I was excited to hear that we were doing this class because a couple of years ago, I had bought this Rowan book of sweaters because I just love this sweater.
And they had it there
And this
on
is
display.
the technique. Yeah, and this is the technique you need to do the sweater. And I never realized it. Yeah, and they had this on display. Everybody was trying it on. So there's quite a few people who are going to make this. The reason I didn't start it yet is because I was kind of
You're intimidated?
very intimidated by the charts in this book. They're totally crazy. And you probably can't see from here, but these are the two fronts of the sweater. And within this chart is the sleeve.
So that's the entire sweater
That's
front.
the entire
And the
sweater. The
the
back.
boxes are.
Oh, that's. I'm sorry. That was the back.
That was the back.
That was the back with the sleeve inside it. These are the two fronts. So I had gone as far as trying to enlarge the pattern, the charts, and I just couldn't get myself to start this. I
Very
still want
tough
to. I'm
read
not
those
giving up.
microscopic squares.
I bought the exact yarn that it called for, the same colors, and I love the sweater, and I will do this one day.
Well, even
now
on
that
the
I
hat-
know the color.
Yeah. Even on the hat, show the pattern.
So the hat for our class was this pattern.
So you can kind of see the red on top of the blue in the picture.
It's very muted, and it's stars. You can't even tell what it is, but it's stars.
And then show the chart. Because even this chart, just for the hat, was pretty immense.
So I didn't get too far on my hat. I really seriously was having a problem reading this chart.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were.
Yeah. So it's 3 stars, and they're ever so slightly different.
But they said you could do them the same if you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
To repeat
if I
the
were
one
going to do this again, I would
section.
just take one of the stars
Right.
and blow it up so I could actually see it. And then just do that 3 times around the hat. In fact, I was thinking later I might do 4 stars because with the decreases at the top, see how it kind of takes it goes into the top of the 1 star,
right.
because there's 3 stars but there's 4 decreases.
It's not even.
Like this
equal.
one looks fine. It's kind of centered
So you
between
want
them.
to situate them right where
Yeah.
the decrease is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is just to show you a picture of the hat that Joy showed
yeah.
from our first class. This was and Arne and Carlos gave us all these patterns. It was all set up. This is what the hat looks like.
And this one they had the sample there for. I don't remember seeing the sample for the other hat.
They didn't.
So this is called Reine, R-E-I-N-E, and then this is called Heine, I guess. It's H-E-I-N-E. So they're very similar names.
Yep.
One starts with an R and one starts with an H.
They told us what those words mean too, and I can't remember.
Oh, they did?
Norwegian.
I
can't remember.
Usually they're like people's names.
I can't remember what they said. And this is a picture of the ornaments. Of course, they have a whole book of their ornaments, the balls, Christmas balls.
And the past 3 years since the pandemic, they've been doing 24 balls.
Right.
So this is now the 3rd year that they've done 24 new balls.
And if you follow their podcast, they're showing, they're doing that
The new ones.
every
Yeah.
day.
I've only seen the first one so far. But I really like the new ball.
So then the afternoon class was this Primrose crochet throw. I took mine out already. And that was why we needed 10 colors of Rowan felted tweed. So this was crochet, as I said.
And neither of us are crocheters, really.
Well,
Well, you used
I
to
used
do
to
it.
be.
So these are my 2.
Yeah, I had
Primroses.
2 finished too, but I took them out because I know I'm not making this throw. When I crochet too much, my wrist hurts now, so that's why I had to stop crocheting. It's very pretty.
It was kind of
Very
fun to
pretty.
do. The pattern was a little bit
Yeah.
challenging because a bunch of us did it wrong. Doing it every other instead of every 2. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I just brought scraps.
The instructions are brief.
They are brief.
They're brief.
And I actually pulled Arne over and I said, please show me how to start this 4th round
need
because
this-
I wasn't really sure.
So that, again, they would go around and
Yeah.
help you with that.
Yeah.
So those were our 4 classes, and they were great fun.
Yes.
Met so many nice women.
Yep.
We have a new subscriber,
Yes.
Teddy. Teddy, sat
Hi,
next to
Teddy.
me. If you see our pictures, I think you're going to post our pictures.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
to the right of me.
Yeah.
It was lovely spending the 2 days with all these women at
Yeah.
our table. We all kind of stayed together the 2 days too.
Yep.
So yeah, I even traded colors of the Rowan felted tweed because I had gotten, well, we all got 10 different colors, and I didn't plan to do the throw, and a couple of other women didn't. So we kind of traded off colors. So I'll have to bring them next time. I'll show you the colors that kind of all go together now for my striped sweater. I had some bright yellow greens that I didn't want to
Didn't
add.
quite go with the rest
No.
of the...
Did we
Well, I didn't buy the yarn pack. However, I did buy yarn there.
do? Yes.
This is a yarn that she carries exclusively. A lady,
I love that.
actually, she was in the class
In the
with
class,
us.
yeah.
The
I
dyer
love
was
that.
there with us. It's called Tea Time Fibers, and her name was Nicole.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
So we got to meet the dyer.
And no, I didn't buy this color, even though it is my color.
It's definitely Janet's color.
I was
I
was
dangled
very
in
controlled.
front of her.
She tried.
I tried, but
was very
ended
controlled.
up buying it myself. But she had a bunch of different indie dyers on one wall, and personally, this was my favorite of the other.
Mine too.
Of all the indie dyers that she had on that wall, this is my favorite yarn. And then this
felt the
was
best.
was my favorite color of my favorite yarn that was hanging there. So I bought this. It's beautiful. I got, which is not exclusive, but she had a bunch of feeder book farm yarn, which we usually buy at Rhinebeck.
She had a lot of great colors in that.
She did, and then she was pairing it with
I was
solids.
just gonna say, yeah. She
So
coordinated everything. It looked great.
Yep, very well put together. So for my solid, I got this Kelbourne Woolens Scout, which is a DK 100% wool.
That's pretty.
Which I've been looking for this. Drives me crazy that we live near Philadelphia and we can't even get this yarn. But I've been wanting to get this wool, and it goes perfectly with this feeder book that I found. So
Beautiful.
I'm really happy with this.
That's beautiful.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's going to be fun, whatever it is. So I did get some yarn there.
Oh, you bought that?
And well, I have one more thing that's also a work in progress.
Oh, okay. So the only thing I bought in the yarn shop besides the yarn pack are these Prym needles. If you watch Arne and Carlos, you'll know about them.
Yeah.
Because this is what they use. So I decided to give them a try. And they look like this. I don't know if you can see the tips, the two tips. Looks like they have like little bulbs on the tips. And it's supposed to be easier to knit with, right? It's better
More
on your
ergonomic.
hands. And
Yeah.
And they are, actually, you know what? I thought they were 4-sided. They're 3-sided.
Yeah, 3-sided.
They're 3-sided. So I started a little baby hat on these, and we'll see. We'll give it a try. I got size 4 and size 2. So we'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they call them hook tips.
So
And this is what
what's
Arne and
your-
Carlos used for all the classes. This is what they used for everything.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Arne said that he doesn't like to use circular needles.
Right.
He
At
likes
all.
to use
Yeah.
4 DPNs
Mm-hmm.
with the 5th knitting, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. They're definitely DPN guys.
Yes, definitely.
The last day, we didn't drive home Thursday afterwards.
Right.
We drove to Joy's sister's house on the Chesapeake, which was lovely.
Yes.
Really, really lovely. Sunrises and sunsets and moon. Oh my gosh, the moon over the water.
Yeah. It
She
was
just
beautiful.
has a whole wall of windows facing the water.
bay.
Oh, beautiful. It was very lovely. That was very nice. Thank
Yeah.
you. It was interesting staying with her. She has a business that's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And then we drove home the next day.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. We had
Yeah.
a great.
We had good weather.
We
Except
did.
for the first day. It was a little bit rainy, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
After that, we had sun all the time.
Yep.
So it was good.
It was a great trip all around.
Yep. Wonderful people. We met so many wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's always the nicest part of going to a knitting event.
Mm-hmm.
You meet the people who you have a common interest with. Everybody is extremely friendly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me, Joy. As soon as Joy saw Arne and Carlos were going to be so close.
Yep. I signed up
She
right
signed
away.
up right away.
And I sent her the link.
Said, what do you think? So that was fun. That was fun.
It was fun. So then the last thing I have is a work in progress, which is also yarn I bought from Crazy For You. I have started a baby sweater.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I have another baby coming due in March. So I bought Rowan Superwash worsted in the color Sage. And I have the body done here.
Oh, that's cute.
So now I have to do the sleeves, and then it has like this big shawl collar thing going on in the center.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the pattern...
Is that a fold over?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern's called Busy Baby Boy Sweater by Lorna Miser. The sleeves have the same texture that the body does, and then this is like a big shawl collar wrap crossover thing that'll be in the front. And I'm shooting for a 1-year size. It's coming, it's working up to me. It looks a little bit small, but who knows? I'm not that great with sizing kids.
Maybe when you wash it, because this is super wash.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I bet it's going to stretch a little.
Right. Yeah. So that's coming. That's my whip.
Let me see what it feels like. Oh, that's nice. Pure wool superwash worsted. Yeah.
It's from
That's
Romania.
nice. Very nice.
And what do you have on the needles?
Well, I had that baby hat that I just showed, and then I was very anxious right after the last podcast I started. This is called The Float by Dawn Barker, and this is another Rhinebeck acquisition this year. I met her, watched the last podcast, I spoke about her. So I started. I really like doing this. This is fun. So I've gotten this far. Where is that in there? There we go. And you could see how the color, let me show you the yarn ball. Whenever you come to pink and black, you keep wrapping almost like a bobble. And it does this design.
It's cute.
And it's random.
And it gives you like this little texture. It's raised.
Yep.
Where
It's
each
raised
of the
texture.
little...
And the pattern calls for, but when I spoke to her at Rhinebeck, she said, you do whatever works out for you with your yarn. The pattern calls for 5 of these back and forth stitches. I had to do 7 to get my color, because here in one part I didn't do that, and I have a little bit of a line. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that.
Oh,
That's
I see.
what happens, but it's on the edge. You can't see it. I wasn't going to rip it out.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to pay attention to when your colors, like for example, when I get to my pink, when it starts to turn pink,
Then
I
you
know
start
that's
doing
when I
your-
start doing that special stitch. So it's fun. And this, of course, this is Cozy. I always get this name. I want to make
Cozy
sure I say
Colorworks?
it right. Cozy Colorworks from New Jersey. This is a special signed pooling yarn. It's superwash merino, fingering weight.
What size
I really like
needle
it.
are you using?
What am I using?
Doesn't look very big.
I think it's a 4. Yeah, it's a 4. So it is a
Nice.
little bit looser, drapey.
Fun. It'll be interesting to see how blocking affects these
Mhm.
little guys.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I want to block it too.
No?
I don't want it to be flat. I think I like it raised. I think it looks pretty.
Just enough to like smooth it out.
I think I might just wash it, and I don't think I'm going to use my wires. I don't know. Maybe on the one edge
Yeah, it's
here.
folding up
Just
along
on the one
the edge.
edge. Yeah. But I'm not going to spread it out, stretch it
Uh-huh.
out too much.
Yeah.
I like the look of it.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
That's
It's
neat.
actually a lot of fun to do this.
It would
You
look
don't have to look at the pattern. I mean, after you
right.
after you do these little bobble things,
you know.
It's intuitive. Yeah. It's easy to figure out. They're
I
called
wonder
florets.
if you had if you could do like a leopard thing, right? Like with if you had a light brown yarn with dark brown spots in it.
That would be neat. Yeah.
It would look like an animal print.
There's a couple of different yarn companies that are doing this assigned pooling. So you just have to look for this assigned pooling yarn. Right?
These Primroses make great coasters.
Oh, they do. There you go.
It's the perfect size.
That's what you should do. Just detach. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did want to say, when we got to the very first class and we sat down, at every seat was one of these cute little bags.
Yes, we keep showing these bags. They're so cute.
Yeah, so
they're a heavy.
It has their
muslin,
picture on
whatever.
one side and then their names on the other side. Nice canvas bag. So there was a bag, and there was a Crazy for You pen from the yarn shop, and the pattern. Was there anything else? So it was nicely displayed at each spot.
Very organized. Very well organized. Yeah, in fact, Ellen, when I was talking to Ellen, the owner, she has so many special events, and a lot of her customers were in the classes, and they spoke very highly of all her classes, and she has something going all the time. She just had a
Trunk show.
a trunk show for what yarn? Norah. But she has a tea in March or April that she was telling me about, and she said, "You really should come to that. That's a nice afternoon, and it sounds like a nice event." I don't know. We'll have to see what day it is or what the story is, but very friendly, nice yarn shop.
For us,
Everybody's very involved.
It's about a 4-hour drive to get down there, so it's a little bit of a hike. So it was definitely worth it for a 3-day.
It was a nice ride, though. Very nice ride. I guess we won't be podcasting before Christmas,
No,
so we
we'll
have to
see you
say
in
happy
January,
holidays,
yeah.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe and healthy.
Yeah.
And get your knitting. I don't know if everybody's knitting for presents. I still have some to do.
Oh, do you?
Just these hats, these baby hats.
Okay.
Maybe a pair of socks too.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody's watching any other podcasts that are doing Vlogmas every day. I'm watching several. I enjoy them. I don't know
The
how
only
people
one
can
I'm
do
watching-
it, but
yeah,
I love
know.
it.
That's why, like, when Arne and Carlos do their advent calendar, they pre-record the whole thing all up front, and then they just have to load up one every day.
I'm watching them. They're still going to thrift shops too. The latest Sit and Knit, they included the thrift shop too.
Buying some Christmas stuff.
Yes, we talked to them about that. That's right. They're thrift shopping. It looks like they picked up quite a bit in the U.S. on their tour. They're home now. Keep on knitting. Stay healthy.
Yep.
Happy
And
holidays.
we will see you in January.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.